For all of your sports in Lorain, keep your TV tuned to TV20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Good evening, everybody. This is Bob Braskich. I will be joined shortly by Tim Alcorn. If you've been with us earlier this evening, you enjoyed the freshman game. We're now into the JV game, Lorain High versus Garfield Heights. That's Jocko with the basketball. I'll get the starters for you in a moment as the game unfolds. Garfield was a little bit late coming to the game, so we didn't have much prep time, but I'll do the best I possibly can. It's Fairley with the shot, missed. Loose ball on the floor, recovered Jocko Lee. And we're going to have a foul. That'll be a two-shot foul. Jocko Lee will go to the line. Rest of the starting lineup for Lorain High. Other than Jocko, we have number 13, who's Cam Thomas, although he's not on our roster. Number 23, Beyond Belcher, 6'6". Always like to watch Beyond play. And number 2, Desan Fairley, along with, obviously, at the line, number 10, that's Jocko Lee. Jocko Lee hits both, being fouled on the shot. Lorain High. Jocko, obviously, when he picks you up full court, it is not a pleasant experience. He really gets into you. Shot on the floor by Garfield. A traveling call will turn the ball back over to Lorain High. Damian Shepard, ball out of bounds. Garfield full court pressure. Screen set. Jocko Lee's advancing the ball up the floor. No problem with the press by the JV Lorain High players. Jocko penetrates right down the seam and scores and also gets fouled. He has 2 free throws from the line on the previous possession. Now the opportunity for a three-point play. I'm now joined, and so glad he's here, by my friend who's going to bail me out. Tim Alcorn. I'm not a play-by-play, Tim, believe me.
All right. I had to go down there and have a few words with John Rossitano. So, you know that John, he just doesn't stop talking.
Well, did he say anything about injuries for the varsity game coming up tonight?
Yeah, Aiden Brown is a no-go.
Oh, that's not good.
And as Lorain heads to the other end, we'll get a charging foul, as that one is called on the Titans.
Wow. Yeah, I know this is the JV game, but Tim, looking forward to that varsity game later on. I have never seen a season where a varsity team has been so affected in a negative way by injuries as Lorain High. I mean, Jordan Jackson was out. That's a travel.
You had Jordan Jackson. You had Seth earlier in the year, and now Aiden.
Out for the first half of the season. Aiden hurt in the last game against Cleveland Heights. Again, and Aiden really hurts because he's 6'5". We've been getting hurt on the boards at the varsity level just terribly. That Cleveland Heights game was a 4-point game, and we were out-rebounded 2-1. Rebounds were the difference, and to lose Aiden in that varsity game tonight, a 6'5" rebounder, really hurts.
Well, I believe Javon Manning will get the start for Lorain High in the varsity game.
Okay, Javon gives you some size there. He comes in at about 6'3" or so, 6'2.5", 6'3". But rebounding has definitely been a problem. And you know Garfield's going to be ready to play tonight. This is a very important game for them. They're tied with Cleveland Heights for the lead in the league. The lead in the league, I should say.
Lorain with the basketball. They're still looking as out front with the basketball is Fairley. Shot put up, no good. Rebound grab by Garfield Heights. 4-0. Lorain with the early lead. Just over 5 minutes to go, first quarter here at the Titan Gym. Tim Alcorn, Bob Brackish, Joe Bach on the camera. Just a wealth of talent here in the Lorain Gym. And I mean the guys playing the game, not the ones announcing it and shooting it.
I don't know about that. But, you know, this is a junior team out there for a JV team. We've got 4 juniors on the floor, if I'm not mistaken, right now. Good preview of what's to come for next year.
Jocko Lee, point-blank shot that wouldn't fall. Here comes Garfield Heights to the other end. There's a nice steal as McShepard will head to the other end and score. Damian McShepard makes it a 6-0 ball game.
Wait, Tim, Dax McCall's the JV coach for Lorain High. He's one of my old guys, and he really gets his team playing hard.
I love Dax.
Oh, he's a great guy, and very fundamentally sound coach. Demands maximum intensity and effort, gets it.
Nice running shot in the lane that's good and a foul. So a chance for an and one. Boy, Lorain High off to a great start. And they lead it 8-0 with 4:07 to go here in the first quarter of play.
It's Cam Thomas at the line. I don't think he's on your JV roster, Tim. Cam Thomas,
Yep,
number
junior.
13. Is he on the JV roster?
He's on the varsity roster.
Yeah, well, he's Cam, another one who's been injured, had an ankle. This is only his maybe third or fourth game back. Just started resuming practicing, and he's another big body at about 6'4". Has played varsity basketball in the past. Is a junior. Will be back for next year. But what an injury situation Coach Rossitano and his staff have dealt with this year.
Well, at some point, you have next man up mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you develop depth, and it's why, those guys who are sitting and watching, they had best be ready if their number is called. 9-0, Lorain High with a great start as the three ball is off the mark for the Bulldogs, and Jocko Lee will send it down the floor to Cam Thomas. Nice dish,
dunk.
And the dunk is made. Belcher with the dunk. Timeout.
Big beat.
Garfield Heights. So Belcher with the slam to make it an 11-0 Titan lead. Bulldogs trailing 11-0 here on the Titan home floor. So a great start for Lorain High.
Tim, that gives us an opportunity. Sports medicine team at Cleveland Clinic Sports Health offers expert diagnosis and treatment for all athletes of all ability and ages. Call 877-440-TEAM, T-E-A-M, or visit sportshealth.org to learn more. Cleveland Clinic Sports Health, proud medical provider for Lorain High School student athletes. You're right, Tim. Good start for the JV squad. And again, that's primarily a junior squad out there without exception. Let me make sure.
Well, Bob, one of the biggest differences
5 juniors out there
that you see from that freshman to JV level is just the physical size of the young guys.
And speed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big difference.
There's a shot from the right wing that's off.
Well, that's a nice-sized JV team we have out there with Belcher, who's 6'6", and Thomas, who's 6'4", possibly.
Jocko Lee buries a three ball from the left corner.
And, Tim, I don't know, have you had the opportunity to see JVs play this year?
I have not.
When we go back to man-to-man, watch Jocko Lee on defense. I mean, he will make your life miserable. Number 10, he really gets into you. Takes you out of your comfort zone.
14-0. Lorain High off to a tremendous start in the JV game. In the freshman game, Lorain High won that one 41-28. Bulldogs made a late charge, but the Titans held them off. So here's Jocko Lee. Now he'll flip it in the right corner. That's Fairley. Fairley to the left side to Lee. Lee with a crossover. Step back. Shoots and
crossover. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Jocko Lee makes it 16-0. Doug Swain is amazed behind us. Doug wearing the Lorain Titan hat.
There you go. That doesn't happen often.
I know what Doug would say. Nothing personal. Strictly business. Oh, my. 2:29 to go, first quarter. Boy, Lorain High has just dominated this one from the get-go, leading 16-0. As Garfield Heights still looking for that first point as Javon Curtis can't connect on the free throw.
Well, I mean, you could see, we talked a lot about the fundamentals of shooting in the first game tonight, Tim, and you could see the Garfield JV team doesn't shoot it fundamentally well either. And you can do everything really well in basketball, and if you can't shoot it, you can't win.
There you go.
Simple as that.
16-1. Yeah, sooner or later, you got to put the ball in the bucket. And there's Jocko finding Cam Thomas down low.
The way to read the defense right there. Similar trap situation as the Garfield freshman ran.
18-1 with 2:13 to go here in quarter number 1. And now for Lorain High, checking in is Rashad Carter, sophomore guard. As Jocko Lee will take a seat. And of course, in high school basketball, you're allowed 5 quarters of play per night. I know Jocko sees some time at the varsity level as well. And you got to be careful with that. If you're monitoring those, not necessarily the minutes, but if you're monitoring the quarters as Lorain turns it over. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter of play. It is all Titans on the JV level. 18-1, they lead it. Garfield Heights still looking for that first field goal, and there it is, finally on a putback. As Terrell Jewell was able to get that one to roll home, making it 18-3.
Wow.
Now there's a steal by Garfield. Oh, they steal it right back. Lorain High, that is, and driving and scoring is McShepard.
You have to make yourself available, run that shallow cut in front of that trap when you see it, and then catch, turn, and attack. We're having a little problem with that, similar to the freshman
game. Yep. Garfield Heights with the basketball. On the right side, step back, shot up, no good. Rebound, ricochets out front. Out of there with it come the Bulldogs. Baseline left, that shot off the mark. Here comes Lorain.
Garfield just doesn't shoot it. They do everything pretty well except put it in the basket.
20-3, 17-point lead for Lorain High. And Lorain High will now inbound underneath their own basket. Well, I'm sorry, Garfield Heights doing the inbounding. So the Bulldogs with the basketball. And they will float it out front to Stephen Cornwell. Cornwell around a screen, and it's going to be an illegal screen. The foul is called on Brown.
Wow. High ball screen. The NBA, that's all you see is high ball screen. In college, a lot of high ball screen. Really don't see that much at the high school level.
Bob, way back when you and Naismith were talking about basketball, did you ever see the three-point shot becoming as prevalent as it has?
It's changed the game. It's one of the things that has changed the game, Tim. The game and the parallels between how football has changed basketball, when we get a moment here.
As Garfield Heights off the turnover miss. And there's Cam Thomas with the rebound.
But basketball has changed. It's all about spreading the floor, spreading the defense, creating holes, penetrate and pitch for that three. The three has been part of changing the game entirely. I mean, you can see it at your level at the NBA. No longer is it, Andre Drummond is almost, a thing of the past, that type player. I mean, he's a great player, but that type of post back to the basket type offense isn't utilized that much anymore. If you're bigs, a big really becomes valuable when he could step out to the perimeter, set a ball screen and then fill to the perimeter and shoot the three. I mean, the game has changed. It's just like football, spreading the field now. Basketball over the last 20 years, it's spread the floor, penetrate, and pitch.
There you go. 1 quarter in the book, 20-3. Lorain High at the JV level is dominating Garfield Heights. We'll bring you the second quarter following this timeout on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve part-time in your community. while continuing their full-time careers or education to help keep our nation safe at home and around the globe. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
1 quarter in the book in this JV contest. Lorain High and Garfield Heights. Boy, it is all Lorain.
Yeah.
20-3. They lead it at the end of one. Tim Elkhorn along with Bob Brackish. And, of course, Joe Bach on the camera. That's Doug Sween handling the business end of things. 17-point lead as driving and missing is Garfield
nice
Heights.
rebound.
Put up no good. Rebound grab by the Bulldogs, though. They keep the possession alive. And the 3-ball is right there for Stephen Cornwell.
Full court pressure out of the timeout during period change.
Right of the lane. Short shot, no good. As that one wouldn't fall for Jordan Daniels. And now Lorain with pressure even off the miss as Garfield Heights heads to the forecourt. And now the Bulldogs have spread the floor a little bit.
Yeah,
Just as I say that, they go for a cross at the free throw line.
They're pretty well organized. The problem is, and I shouldn't say it again, as they hit a three, is they don't shoot it that well. But I mean, they're very well organized.
That shot makes it a 20-9 ball game. At the other end, Lorain with a 3. That's an air ball. And here comes Garfield Heights. Boy, they are pushing the pace of the game. And right of the lane, the jumper is off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound Lorain, and Titans say, well, we'll head to the other end quickly as Reggie Wade feeds it on the left side to Daniels. Jordan Daniels comes around a screen from Belcher. Daniels, top side to Reggie Wade. Wade backs up on the dribble. Wade slows it down as he feeds it on the left side.
Oh, geez, Big B. I can't believe it.
And he missed that one as Belcher couldn't get that one to fall. Garfield Heights with the basketball. Lorain's lead is 11 at 20-9. They led it 20-3 at the end of one, so 6 straight by Garfield Heights here in the second quarter of play.
Well, you know, we're kind of in a situation that we were in during the, what's the call there? Foul. If they're in the freshman game, you know, we're up by double digits. Be careful not to shoot them back in the game. Now, I'm not saying you hold the ball. I'm saying you run an offense to make sure you get a high percentage shot. The last couple of times down, I'm not so sure Lorain High did that. I mean, Big B, perimeter shots really not his strength. And so you can't force those things. You don't want to shoot them back in the game. It's like a turnover.
That was very Jim Jones-like.
Because
Jim always says a bad shot's just like a turnover.
Exactly.
Yep. If you get a good shot and you miss, so be it. But a bad shot is just as bad as a turnover.
I enjoy your broadcast, Tim, and I enjoy Jim Jones. He has insightful knowledge of the game.
Garfield Heights with a 6-0 second quarter so far. And the Bulldogs have made it a 20-9 ball game.
High ball screen.
Down low, pass intercepted, and out of there with it comes Jocko Lee. Feeds it down the floor. Reverse layup is good from Nick Shepard.
Jocko Lee thread the needle.
Great pass from Jocko Lee. Makes it 22-9. Lorain with their first points here in the second quarter of play.
Oh, my.
Oh,
my, that was way out there.
Yeah, big time bomb from Garfield Heights makes it 22-12. Jocko, nice feed down low, shot up, blocked, and we're gonna have a jump ball or a two-shot foul.
Two-shot foul. Yep. The official on the far side called it. The official 4 feet literally from the play did not call it. Puts Belcher at the line. You know, Belcher's a big guy, Tim. He's legit 6'6".
He is a
football guy. He loves basketball. Really has really come a long way. And I think, you know, with a little bit more development, and really all he has to do is play defense, rebound, and make an outlet pass. I mean, he can help next year. He's a junior. 6'6". Doesn't have to score.
Missed both free throws there, but the offensive rebound grabbed by Lorain. Belcher, shot good off the glass. Well, he missed the 2 free throws, but made up for it with the nice shot off the glass to make it 24-12. Garfield Heights with the basketball. And a nice little up and under move, but the ball got knocked out of the hands of Cornwell. Basketball still belongs to the Bulldogs. Boy, this Bulldog JV team has some length to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do, because, Belcher's 6'6", and the young man he was defending on that last possession was a 6'5", at least, and they're long.
Well, there's a long 3 ball that's off the mark. Saved in, but then deflected out of bounds by Cam Thomas.
24-12.
3:29 to go here in the first half of play. Second matchup of the year between Garfield Heights and Lorain, as that shot is off the mark, but the offensive rebound, Jocko Lee blocked that shot. So no, not down here. Into the forecourt, into the lane. Now get it down low, and fouled as he went up was Belcher.
That was a good pass, but it was a better catch. And Belcher, as he's just learning the game, has really had trouble the last couple years catching that ball, but he had his hands above his waist, as all big guys should have, and did a nice job snagging that pass. And that's a good-looking shot right there. That is not a bad-looking shot. Now, it's a different shot than the 2 he shot prior to. He's
24-12, Lorain by a dozen, 3:10 to go here in the first half of play. This is JV basketball. As that second free throw rolled around the rim and in for Belcher. He's got 5 points. 25-12. Boy, look at Dax coaching on that sideline.
He's intense.
He was as a player.
Yeah, he was. And, I had him as a freshman, and he was small then and didn't play much. And then he just stuck with it, stuck with the program, never gave up, and ended up making the varsity squad. Nice young guy.
Oh, he's a terrific
guy. Intense.
Jocko Lee was being defended, and the foul is called on Garfield Heights, as they'll get Cornwell with that one. And for the Bulldogs, that is their 7th team foul, so Jocko Lee is heading to the charity stripe.
Tim, we were talking about numbers at the freshman level, and and one of the reasons you have numbers is it's good for young people to be involved, but also you never know who's going to evolve and play. Dax McCall was one of those guys that, again, didn't see much freshman playing time and ended up being a varsity player. So you never know. You got to stick with it.
Garfield Heights with a turnover, but Lorain can't convert at the other end. Ball got knocked out of bounds. Still belongs to the Titans. And I would think that, Bob, that's incredibly rewarding for a coaching staff to see a young man who, as you say, at that freshman level, is just working hard, perhaps doesn't have that natural basketball ability, but just becomes a solid contributor to a program.
And again, it's easily for a young person in today's day and age to become discouraged and quit, not want to get involved. And when you get one like Dax who sticks with it, puts the time and the work in, very rewarding.
Chaco just got called for a blocking foul, and each team is now over the limit. So we'll have free throws for Garfield Heights with 2:22 to go in the half. Lorain up by 13, 25-12. As Jocko Lee will take a seat. Checking in is Rashad Carter.
Okay, at the line for Garfield, number 4. I don't have him on my. Do you? Is that Noah Werman? No, this young man's taller than 5'10". I don't know who that is, but did he just out of the corner of my eye take his leg wear off in transition and throw it to the sidelines? Did you happen to see that? He has.
I did not see anybody taking off.
It was number
anything.
4.
2:10 to go in the lane. Short shot is good for Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas makes it 27-13. 2 minutes to go here in the first half of play. And stripping the ball, nice play by Carter. Threw it down the floor to Thomas. Thomas on the right side, got it down low. Belcher, what are the lane? Big shot spun around the rim and in.
Dax taking the time out.
And Dax with 1:44 to go here in the first half of play takes a timeout.
Veterans benefits earned through your service in the National Guard or Reserve can offer a range of support.
I wouldn't be here today as a successful woman without the help that I received.
From home loans to job training, go to benefits.va.gov/Guard Reserve to find out more, even how to apply online using e-benefits.
This is one of the best things I ever did in my life.
We were very fortunate to have these benefits, so we definitely ought to use them.
Achieve your next mission. Learn about your VA benefits today.
29-13. Lorain with a 16-point lead. Freshman won earlier, 41-28. Foul called on Lorain, so that'll put Garfield Heights back at the free throw line.
Yeah, I'm fairly impressed with Garfield's half-court offense. You know, again, they don't shoot it well, but the design of what they want to do is pretty good. They have you spread out. They'll back cut pressure. They'll pass, pick, and curl cut away, and they'll set that high ball screen that you would have thought, I don't know, 5-10 years ago when it became popular, would really have spread to the high school game, and hasn't. But you see it at all other levels, but they got the high ball screen thing going, and it's difficult to defend that. Do you switch it? Do you go under the screen? Do you go over? I mean, it's difficult. You have to work on it.
Bob, I sense you miss coaching.
Oh, I love basketball. No, it's a lot of time. If you want to do it right, it's more time than I'm willing to spend right now, and has been for a while. It's just to do it right just takes such a long time, a lot of effort.
And to that point, I don't think people realize the amount of time that coaches.
Oh, and it's more now than when I was coaching back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. It's more now with all the off season and
it is a grind.
Summer leagues,
absolutely,
AAU, and weight conditioning. A lot of time.
Three ball from the right corner off the mark for Carter. There's a nice play made defensively by Fairley for Lorain High. And as Cam Thomas had it, did he get tied up, or are they going to call a foul? We're going to have ourselves a tie-up, and the possession arrow will belong to Lorain High. Titans with a 14-point lead, 29-15 with 38.3 to go. Lorain led at the end of one, 20-3. Cam Thomas swings it on the left side. Three ball off the rim, no good for Daniels. But Lorain High keeps the possession alive. Thomas with a nice screen out front. There's Fairley. That shot off the mark. Rebound Garfield Heights. They've got all sorts of time. 13 seconds to go here in the first half. Lorain with that 14-point lead.
Oh!
And a foul will be called. As with 5.2 on the clock, on his way to the bucket and getting fouled was Stephen Cornwell. So Cornwell shooting two. First free throw is up and good.
Nice stroke.
For Cornwell, he's got 4 points.
A nice little foul line stroke. I always watch players shoot free throws. I mean, it tells you a lot about their shot. This young man has a pretty nice stroke.
Line right,
yeah,
second
one. Very nice.
Around the rim and out. Rebound Cam Thomas. Lorain needs to hurry.
3 seconds.
Here comes Jocko. He's going to let it fly.
Oh.
Off the backboard. Nope. And that ends the first half of play. Good first half for Lorain High, though. They lead at the end of one, 20-3. And now at the intermission, they're up by 13. 29-16. Titans lead it in the JV game. We'll bring you the second half following this timeout on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Sergeant Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and has the medals to prove it. Soon after leaving the Navy, Lieutenant Chris Scott found a job, a home, and started a family of his own. Corpsman Richard Stokely took the skills he learned in Vietnam and put them to good use as a paramedic. But soon after leaving the military, each of these veterans fell on hard times and faced homelessness. Even after Michelle lost all her savings, even after Chris wasn't able to pay his mortgage, and even after Richard battled alcoholism for years, they each reached out for help when they needed it most. A simple phone call put them in touch with a trained professional from the Department of Veterans Affairs. That call got Michelle a place to stay until she could afford one of her own, put Chris in touch with employment assistance, and found Richard a substance abuse program. These veterans are success stories not only for how they were able to help others while serving their country, but for how they were able to let others help them. If you know of or are a veteran in need, make the call.
Every year, the Salvation Army serves nearly 30 million people in need. That's one person every second. So by the time you've finished watching this, 30 more lives will have been changed for good. All thanks to your donations.
Thank you.
Third quarter about to get underway as Lorain High has a 29-16 lead in this JV game. Garfield Heights has come to Lorain to play 3. Lorain freshmen won the first one, 41-28, and Lorain JV looking to make it 2 in a row. As there's a quick bucket by Garfield Heights to start the third quarter to make it a 29-18 ball game.
Tim, I see number 2 out there, just back cut right there. Mylan, I've got him as Mylan McCraw. Did he play in the first half? Number 2? For Lorain High. He's listed as a freshman.
Well, actually,
am I looking at the wrong thing? I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Fairly?
I'm sorry, my fault. That's Fairly. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Well, you're just like Joe Bach.
Yeah.
Things get away from you now and then.
Age, oh yeah, it's wow.
Have you seen the Keebler Studios?
No.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, once you duck in there, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. What Joe has done.
And Keebler, the name?
Well, that's the sponsor. That's the naming rights sponsor.
It's the cookie? Is it the cookie?
Oh, it's all sorts of things. For all the small favors that Joe has done for people over the years.
I got you. I'm going to have to check it out.
29-18.
Let's do that president show again, Joe.
Left side of the forecourt, 3 ball off the back of the rim, no good.
Nice
rebound put up by Belcher, but he missed it. And Garfield Heights out of there with it. They're down by 11, and now they're down by 9.
Wow, nice transition basket.
And Lorain High turns it over on the inbounds. So all of a sudden, things getting a little helter-skelter for Lorain. Keep in mind, they led this game 20-3 at the end of one quarter. They were up by 17 points at the end of one.
All 9th and 10th graders on the Garfield roster. It's a good-looking crew.
They almost turn it over right there, but the loose ball was snagged. Jumper put up, no good from Gill. Out of there with it comes Lorain High. Here's Fairley. Deshaun Fairley got it to Cam Thomas. He tried to get it down low to Belcher, and the ball poked out of bounds by Garfield Heights. 5:39 to go. Third quarter of play.
And that's a whole junior roster, squad out there we have. All juniors.
And Jocko Lee.
Oh, come on,
just
Jocko.
got called for the offensive foul, and that's a good call.
Yeah, that was
I know
a good
Joe
call.
Bach is saying, I don't know, but you can't throw that elbow out there. You can't clear that space for yourself.
Especially when the official's 2 feet away.
So Jocko will head to the bench. So Lorain's lead is 9 with 5.5 minutes to go. Tim Elkhorn, Bob Brackish, I should say 5.5 minutes, third quarter. So we're a long way from being over in this JV game.
Oh.
Shot put up off the glass, no good. Rebound grab by McShepard. He's had a nice game for Lorain High. On the baseline, that's Belcher, fires it on the right side to Fairley. Fairley brings it out front. He scooped, he missed. Rebound grab by Garfield Heights. Well, they pushed the pace. And at the other end, shot was blocked out of bounds. And so Garfield Heights will get it back. 5:01 to go here in quarter number 3. Lorain High, Bob, they had that 20-point first quarter, and things have gone stagnant since then.
Came out and really got after him to start the game, and really took Garfield out of their comfort zone. And then what's happened, Tim, in the last quarter and a half, Garfield has adjusted to that tempo and speed. I mean, again, we're out there with 5 juniors. They're freshmen and sophomores. They adjusted. They're pretty talented. I'm just looking at some of their sizes here, and they have nice size. Number 35 out there, Terrell Jewell is 6'5", 13. Mansoray is 6'2", Gillespie 6'4". That's a nice looking squad.
And they've cut it down to an 8-point ball game with 4:45 to go here in the third quarter of play. It's JV basketball here in the city of Lorain. Out front, there's Fairley into the lane, and he got pushed as he made his way to the basket.
Bailed out Lorain High. Everybody was standing on the perimeter. Nobody to really pass the ball to. No offense being created off the ball, and Fairley had to attack the basket. Bailed out by the call.
And there's a inbounds pass that's stolen away, and heading to the other end and missing the shot though was Mansoray. But he gets the ball back on the left wing. So Garfield Heights can make this a 6-point ball game, or even 5 if they hit a 3 ball. 29-21. Lorain by 8. Dax McCall, Lorain's JV coach, urging his guys on to dig in defensively, and now Garfield Heights says we need a timeout with 4:04 to go.
Yeah, Garfield having a tough time, getting into the offense that the coaches wanted to see. A lot of standing. They really didn't have good floor balance. They didn't have the floor spread, and so wisely took the timeout to get organized.
Bob, we've talked about the fact that Lorain High had a 20-point first quarter, 9 in the second, and none here in the third. They have not scored. Amazing. What has happened to Lorain offensively?
Our offense in the first half, in that first quarter, was our defense. We were scoring off our defense, forcing turnovers, and those are quick, easy baskets. And then once Garfield adjusted to that tempo, and Lorain High was not taking them out of their comfort zone anymore, things have evened out to the point where, when we have to go through the heart of their defense, we're struggling. We were scoring off of our defense. Now we're having to go through the heart of theirs. Big difference.
So Lorain High still looking for their first points here in the second half of play. It's been a 5-0 third quarter for Garfield Heights.
Back screen for a lob.
There's a lob on the inbounds. And here comes Garfield Heights. Although a nice chase down from Fairley.
Yeah.
Out of there with it comes Cam Thomas. Fairley now gets it back. Right side 3 ball. Good!
Oh, nice.
Rashad Carter swishes that one to make it 32-21. Lorain with their first points here in the second half. And there was defense creating offense.
There you go.
Shot no good. Rebound Lorain. Fairley will take it fairly slowly across the timeline.
Well, too much standing right now.
And in the lane, we got a bump. As trying to cut through the lane for Lorain High was Damian McShepard, and he got bumped out of there, and the foul will be called. 3:19 to go, third quarter. Lorain High's JVs leading Garfield Heights JV squad 32-21. You know, I pick on him a lot, but I do want to thank Joe Bach for having me here today. It's really cool to be back in Lorain High, and for Joe to ask me to do these games. It means a lot, but that's an over and back on Lorain. You can't catch it in the forecourt and step into the backcourt.
Self-inflicted wounds, fellas. Come on now. No, Joe's a good guy.
Yep. With the work he has done over the years for the district.
Yeah, for the district, I mean, putting these games on, this isn't happening anywhere else.
So Garfield Heights with the ball, down by 11. There's a rainbow three, and it draws nothing but air. And Lorain High has it. Fairly out front. Barely chased by a double team. Flips it left side to McShepard. Now they get it down low. Thomas up. Nobody got fouled.
See, when you beat the trap with a pass and Garfield trapped and you turn and attack, you make them pay. Almost scored there with a three-point opportunity, but went to the line nevertheless. But I mean, that's exactly what you do. You make that pass out of the trap, and obviously players off trap have to make themselves available, and you turn and attack. That's exactly what we've been talking about all night long. That's what Maple does. They trap. I expect to see their varsity do that. That's one of the reasons why Coach Rossitano's over there in the corner watching that JV game, because he knows if you watch the JV game closely in most programs, that JV team will be doing something you'll expect to see in that varsity game. So it's kind of like a little scouting trip.
Cam Thomas hit them both.
So I expect the Garfield varsity to trap similarly as their freshman and JV teams did.
34-21. Here's Lorain High with pressure. And got a foul called on Lorain High as Rashad Carter was pressuring a little too aggressively. One of the things that I've always heard, Bob, was teams that pressure and apply a lot of pressure
don't like to get
They don't
pressure.
like it when it's put on them.
That's exactly true.
And driving and scoring.
Yeah.
But why would that be?
I don't know, and I've heard that so many times and have given it some thought, and it really doesn't make sense because, you're working on it in practice a lot. You think you'd be comfortable with it, but I've heard it so many times, I don't know if it's true or not.
Turnover by Lorain, and a drive and a miss, but a foul is also called.
Tim, I do know this, though. The advantage of pressuring full court and trapping and so forth is it's very difficult for your opponent to duplicate that at their practice and preparation because they're practicing against JVs and so forth, and they can't duplicate what they're going to see at the varsity level preparation-wise. And so that's one of the reasons why some coaches are just totally committed to pressure defense because they don't feel that you could prepare. And I think that's a valid point.
It's a very valid point. Absolutely.
The reason they don't do it in the NBA, it's 82 games, and the games are 48 minutes long, and it'd be humanly impossible.
Couple of free throws for Garfield Heights, and the lead is now 9 at 34-25. And there's a turnover, and Garfield Heights with an easy bucket, a putback basket, makes it 34-27. As Lorain High again struggling against that pressure. Here comes Fairley. Right of the lane, lost the ball, but it's grabbed by Belcher.
Big B, come on.
Belcher got fouled as he went up. And Belcher will shoot 2 with exactly 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter of play.
With 4 timeouts left, if you can't get it in bounds, take a timeout. Save the possession. Might think it's early in the game to do that, but I just get the feeling that Garfield's making a bit of a comeback here, reestablishing themselves, so you certainly don't want to turn it over, on an inbounds pass. I'd burn a timeout for that.
Belcher hit that first free throw, so the lead is 8 for Lorain High at 35-27. 2 minutes to go. Third quarter of play, JV basketball. Belcher with a look over at Dax McCall as Dax was shouting out defensive instructions. Belcher knocked that second one in. So the lead back to 9 at 36-27. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Garfield Heights being patient offensively. That running shot left of the lane is an air ball. I thought it may have been deflected. But
I did too.
Lorain will take it, and Garfield Heights is going to pick up with pressure in the backcourt.
And they're going to trap that first pass. You know that. This is diamond pressure right here. There's the trap. Oh!
And a blocking foul is called. But generally, in that full court trap, and Joe Bach did a great job on the screen and giving us the wide shot. Once that inbounder inbounds that ball, it should come right back to him. Correct?
Well, it depends. An inbounder getting the ball, that was against diamond pressure. An inbounder getting the ball in the corner has 3 looks. First look is sideline, second look is middle. Actually, the last look is that reversal pass you're referring to, Tim.
And we're going to have an offensive foul called on Fairley for Lorain High. Again, creating that space.
But, you know, in that diamond pressure, the teams that are really good at it, they trap you in the corner, and then in the middle, the middleman plays cat and mouse between your inbounder, who stepped in bounds, and between your middleman, and tries to anticipate. Great press.
Lorain's lead is 9, 36-27. 1:16 to go. And a foul on Lorain is going to put Garfield Heights at the free throw line. Titans are now over the limit. Boy, we're going to have a lot of free throws in the fourth quarter as Lorain's at 17 fouls and Garfield Heights at 6. Lorain led by 17 at the end of one, 20-3. It was 29-16 at the half. And Garfield Heights has now trimmed it down to 9 at 36-27. And they've trimmed it to 8 as that first free throw is good. I don't know how you can play with one legging and not the other.
He's the guy who took it off in transition. I didn't know if you...
How can one leg be exposed and get that nice breeze? I don't know.
And threw it to the sideline in play.
Lorain.
Here's that trap. You have to make yourself available.
By 7.
And attack.
And we're going to have a foul called down low. We've got a push, and that'll put Lorain High at the free throw line as Jordan Daniels will shoot 1 and 1. According to my book, Jordan hasn't scored. Although I'm 4 points off. I think that's when I was talking to John Rossitano.
That's right.
So that's why I'm 4 points off.
That's correct. And I'll tell you what the 4 points. Jocko made 2 free throws and scored on a layup.
Oh, wow. So he had their first 4.
Yes.
Well, there you go. And Daniels hits both free throws, his first 2. So I was correct on that.
Yep.
So 38-29, Lorain by 9. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter of play. Lorain pressure bothering Garfield Heights, but when they get bailed out, and on the right wing, the 3 is way off the mark. Ball out of bounds, and it belongs to Lorain.
Boy, they do everything pretty well, Tim. They just don't shoot it. And if you take a look at the shots are broken shots. You know, they really need fundamental shooting work because everything else they do pretty well. This little diamond press right here, they execute this fairly well. They're going to trap the first pass, try to take away middle. Well, we got lucky there.
Lorain with the basketball and a 9-point lead as we're down to 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter of play.
Well, Dex wants to hold it. Hard to hold it for 30 seconds at the JV level. Nope.
Scoop and a miss, and out of there with it comes Garfield Heights. So the Bulldogs will try to get this thing down to 7 or even 6 on a 3-ball. We're down to 12, 11, 10 to go in the quarter. And there is a 3, and it got stuck between the rim And the backboard, that's a possession arrow ruling. So Lorain will get it with 6.9 on the clock. They'll try to travel the 94 feet in 6.9. And I know every coach has a drill for this. However many seconds are on the clock, and we need to go. Yeah, you need to go the length of the floor.
You work on that, absolutely.
So 6.9. I say it's easy. It's not, but it's certainly doable.
You can advance it off the dribble.
Fairly. Fires left side. Jocko, 3. Nope. And that ends the third quarter of play. Lorain with a 9-point lead at the end of 3 in this JV contest. 38-29. Titans lead it as we head to the fourth on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Ohio State is saving lives every day.
This is Ohio State.
We're the economic engine of the state. A major employer.
Over 60,000 students. We're on the forefront of cancer research. An educational core of Ohio.
Impacting tens of thousands daily. Our alumni organization is nearly 500,000 worldwide.
This is Ohio State.
This is Ohio State. Ohio State.
This is the Ohio State University.
38-29. Garfield Heights with the basketball as we start the fourth. There's a shot that's missed, and out of there with it comes Cam Thomas. Thomas into the forecourt. Thomas, cross-court pass, left corner, Carter, 3. No. Rebound, though. Cam Thomas hooked it up, and it spun out on him. So out of there with it come the Bulldogs.
Use the glass.
Driving at the other end, putting it on the rim, but missing was Ben. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it belongs to Lorain High. Freshmen won the first matchup here today as the 9th graders from Lorain beat Garfield Heights 41-28. JV squad trying to make it 2 for 2. Varsity game to follow. Lorain with the basketball. Here's Cam Thomas, hits the brakes, hands it off, driving and missing was McShepard. Long pass down the floor and fairly knocked down Cornwell, and Cornwell will shoot 2.
Yeah, you know, point guards have got to get back on defense. And if point guard attacks the basket, obviously he can't. So the number 2 guard has to recognize that and hustle back, especially when you're playing against a team like Garfield, who has shown that they are very adept at pushing the ball.
First free throw up and good. We've got ourselves an 8-point game, 38-30. 6:18 to go in the fourth quarter of this JV contest. And that second free throw is also perfect. So we've got a 7-point game with 6:18 on the clock, and Garfield Heights again with that pressure.
Yeah, just straight man that time.
Fairly into the forecourt. Here comes the double team right side to Cam Thomas. And
out of bounds.
Joe Bach was shielding me from the official down there.
He had his foot on the sidelines when he caught the ball. Again, a trap creating a turnover.
So Lorain High hanging on to that 7-point lead with 6 minutes to go.
Well,
and there's a bucket and a foul. Belcher was trying to keep his arms straight up and not have contact, but a nice job there by Yanko Manseri.
Big B kind of bit on the ball fake, and then the crossover and the attack put Belcher in a position where he knew he was going to fall after he was beaten off the dribble. Wow, that puts them right back in the game.
And the free throw makes it a 4-point game. Wow, 38-34, just under 6 minutes to go. Here in the fourth quarter of the JV game, Fairley in the center circle got double teamed, but a whistle and a foul. And again, both teams have been over the limit for quite a while. So we'll have free throws for Deshaun Fairley, junior JV player. He's in for his first points tonight.
Fairley's done a nice job handling the basketball. He's had when Jocko's not in the game, even when he's in the game, Jocko's in the game, Fairley's had most of the point guard duty. Pretty nice job.
Fairley in and out, but the rebound put back up by Belcher, but he missed it. So a 4-point ball game. Garfield Heights with the basketball. As they try to trim this Titan advantage even further. 3, short, rebound falls into the arms of McShepard. McShepard will hand it off to Fairley. Fairley into the forecourt, lob back to McShepard. Fires left side to Jocko. Lee into the baseline, got it out front. Fairley 3, no. Rebound grab by Garfield Heights. Is out of there with it comes Gill. Gill feeds it down the floor, driving and missing.
Oh, on the putback, fouled by Jocko Lee. Well, this could become a 2-point game. Yep. 17-point lead in the first quarter?
Yeah, end of one, it was 20-3.
Wow.
Lorain High had that 17-point lead. As Jordan Daniels checks in for Lorain High.
Garfield has just done a great job of adjusting to the speed of the game.
The other thing the Bulldogs have done, they've hit free throws.
Yeah, they have.
Second one up and good, and we've got a 2-point game with 5:10 to go, fourth quarter. Jocko gets it in to Fairley. Fairley, his pass is almost stolen at the scorer's table, but the ball ricochets out of bounds.
Dodged the bullet there. You know, the Garfield guys off the ball are pretty good at anticipating and running through passing lanes.
You can't lob that pass.
Nope.
You better have some zip on it.
Okay, here's the trap. There you go.
Good pass. Jocko got it down the floor to Cam Thomas, handed off to Belcher. Belcher Fairley drives and scores.
Wow.
For Fairley, that's his first 2 points of the ball game as he knocked it in off the glass.
The scoop shot.
Right corner, 3, no. Rebound grab by Fairley. Boy, he was being wrestled to the ground from behind.
Tim, I don't know if you saw it. Number 4 did about 5 push-ups after the foul. Did you see that?
Once in a while, you got to let folks know you're in good condition.
Whoa.
So we're going all the way to the other end, where Lorain will have a 1-and-1.
It's pretty funny, Joe.
Joe, how many could you do?
2.
2? Yeah. Deshaun Fairley, line right, sends that first one up, in and out. Rebound grab by Garfield Heights.
You said it, Tim, and there's going to be a lot of free throw opportunities, and the difference here is going to be who makes free throws.
Boy, Garfield Heights with a big turnover right there as Belcher whips it down the floor to Fairley. Fairley tries, missed the shot, but he got fouled. So Fairley's going right back to the line.
Well, that's their Garfield's 10th foul, so it's double bonus from here on out, although this is obviously a 2-shot shooting foul.
So Fairley shooting 2 with 4:30 to go, fourth quarter. Lorain by 4.
Pretty nice.
And now by 5. So Fairley makes it a 41-36 ball game. Jocko Lee and Cam Thomas and Belcher all with 9 for Lorain High as that second free throw rattled out. Ball goes to the Bulldogs. 4.5 minutes to go, 41-36. Lorain by 5. Garfield Heights has stormed back. They haven't quite gotten over the hump. Left corner, 3, no.
They just can't shoot it.
But the possession stays alive for the Bulldogs as Dax McCall just urging his team to dig in defensively and get a stop. Right side, jumper, no. Rebound, Belcher. It's a good, strong rebound. Gave it off to Fairley. Down the floor to Jocko. Lee drives, scooped and scored.
High rate of speed.
Jocko Lee right to the rim to make it 43-36. Lorain by 7. A timeout on the floor.
For the thousands of wounded warriors returning from battle, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a unique program that helps wounded warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. The Warriors to Work program also works with employers to find the right job for the right warrior. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Pam Jackson, popcorn needed. 3:48 to go. 43-36. Lorain by 7. They're trying to hold on. 3 ball from the right corner, no good. Rebound tipped again, and out of there with it comes Daniels.
They just can't shoot it.
Daniels, cross-court pass, Jocko Lee. Lee feeds it to Fairley. Fairley down the lane. Nice dish to Thomas. Up, good, and fouled.
Nice.
Well, Lorain seems to have gotten their mojo back. As Cam Thomas with a chance for an and one.
You remember Cam dressed in varsity as a freshman?
Do you
remember 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm calling NBA now, Bob, doesn't mean I remember those things. No, I do remember that. He's an impressive young athlete as he drains that free throw. So a dozen for Thomas, and Lorain, after seeing their lead cut all the way down to 4, has pushed it back out to 10. Well, now it's 8.
There's a press breaker for you. Well done by Garfield. My hat's off to that coach. He taught them well there.
And now, trapped in the corner is Fairley, and Dax McCall got a timeout before the 5-second violation.
Was it a timeout or was it a...
Well, I think there's a discussion as to whether or not Dax
alternate
got
possession situation.
As to whether or not Dax got the timeout. I think
possession arrow is Lorain High. Officials are conferring.
And I know David Rossitano, assistant coach, was looking down the floor to try to confirm what the actual call was. And it's going to be possession arrow because each team still with 3 timeouts left. Jocko Lee lobs it in, and the ball got deflected. Out of there with it came Fairley. That's a break for Lorain. Fairley, nice bounce to Belcher, who put it up and in. Well, Belcher makes it 48-38. Under 3 minutes to go in this JV game. Lorain by 10. Left wing, 3, in and out. Rebound grab by Belcher. Belcher gives it off to Fairley. Fairley. Bounce on the right side to Daniels. Daniels on the baseline to Cam Thomas.
Wow,
Thomas had it knocked out of his hands out of bounds. Ball belongs to the Titans.
Pressure defense by Garfield, whether in the full court with their diamond press or their man press, or even in the half court here off their little trap, they have really forced their share of turnovers. And I'm telling you, Tim, if this team could shoot it, they would be really, really tough to beat. They just can't shoot it. Everything else they do really well. I'm referring to Garfield.
Yep. 48-38. Jocko Lee for Lorain bounced it down low and bounced it into traffic.
You can't force that pass with 2 minutes left up by 10.
Situational basketball.
You want to use the clock.
Right of the lane, driving and missing for Garfield Heights was Davis. Here comes Daniels to the other end. Fairley put it up, no. Put back, no from Belcher. And down to the floor, a whole bunch of guys go.
Yeah.
And we'll get a possession arrow. This one belongs to Garfield Heights. 2:09 to go, so it's looking better for Lorain High.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate a good coaching job, and I think Dax does a good job, but this young man from Garfield Heights, his kids are ready to play. I mean, they're very organized, like just right there.
Driving and missing that shot, but also getting fouled was Tommy Ben.
I mean, their press offense is organized. Their offense, he's calling out defenses, and they're changing defenses on the fly. I like the little wrinkles they have in their half-court man offense. Nice job.
2:02 to go. Lorain with a 10-point lead. At one point, they were up by 17. Garfield Heights made a real strong charge, got it all the way down to 4. Lorain pushed it back out to 10, and now it's at 9. And now it's at 8. As the second free throw is good. 48-40.
Tim, they have 5 freshmen on their JV roster.
Here comes Lorain High. Fairley down the floor to Thomas. Thomas got it out front to Jocko Lee, and now Dax McCall saying spread the floor. Fairley brings it back out front. Lorain wants to kill clock right here. Jocko splits a double team, whipped it down to Belcher, who laid it in.
Nice catch, Big B.
Belcher with a 13-point ball game. And now we've got a collision just to the right of that Garfield Heights bench, and now we're going to have a technical foul
what's
called.
with the technical foul? And he pointed in the direction of Garfield. But now he's pointing back over here to two Lorain High players.
We had a pretty good collision there.
Well, okay, on the floor, or are you referring to the out of bounds when the Garfield player went over his own player?
On the floor.
Okay. All right, it's against Lorain High because I can tell of Dax McCall's body language. It happened over here. Belcher was involved near us. Tim, near this sideline, and that's going to put...
So with 1:34 to go, we've got Garfield Heights at the line on the technical.
And ball out of bounds.
So all of a sudden, Lorain's comfort zone starting to shrink a little bit as the second free throw is no good.
Yeah, it was not on our bench or our staff. It was players near sideline to us.
Now, because there was a foul, we've got more free throws coming as Tommy Ben is now 2 of 3. He's 3 of 4.
Well,
so that makes it 50-43, and Garfield gets the ball.
Potentially could be an 8-point possession if they you make all the free throws, make a 3 and get fouled in the process. It could be an 8-point possession. Could be a 6-point possession as it stands right here.
And there's a 3 ball, and it's good. And all of a sudden, it's 50-46.
6-point possession.
Lorain with the basketball. And right down below us, pass knocked out of bounds just inside the half-court line.
Number one, they're too good at pressing. You just can't run and get yourself open. You got to set a screen for somebody to get the person you want handling the ball. Then you have to have another strong ball handler flashing into the middle from the half-court area.
Lorain able to beat the pressure that time. As out front, they get it down low to Cam Thomas. Thomas right of the lane, big shot, good.
Well,
Cam Thomas makes it 52-46. And out front, we're going to have a foul called.
And he's calling it 2 shots. Well, it would be 2 nevertheless because it's double bonus.
So we're going to have Garfield at the free throw line. 52-46 with 1:01 to go.
Been a pretty good game.
It has. First free throw good. I mentioned Garfield Heights has hit their free throws.
Yes, they have.
They're back in this thing because they've been productive at the line.
Well, if this one's going in, even if it doesn't, he might take a timeout just to set up his defense. They're going to press. They're going to get into you.
There's the timeout.
Well, and the reason for that is he wants to get Garfield coach wants the right players on the floor to press, and it gives the dead ball situation on the baseline, gives him an opportunity to set that press. On the other end, I hope Dax is coaching him up on what to do against this inevitable full court pressure. Number one, I think you have to set a screen for the person you want to receive the inbounds pass, and you want that person to be a good free throw shooter. And then if that's not there, you have to have somebody cut really hard into the middle of the floor, foul line area, or between the 2 circles to catch the ball. You'd like him to be a really good free throw shooter because Garfield's in a position where if they don't get a steal, I think they're going to foul you. So you want to get that ball into the hands of a free throw shooter. You certainly don't want to turn it over.
So Lorain High clinging to the 4-point lead, 52-48.
And you have 2 timeouts left, so if you can't get it in bounds, take one.
And of course, because the timeout was taken after a made free throw, Lorain can run the baseline.
Yeah, but they're going to be able to set their defense.
So doing the inbounding will be Jordan Daniels. In the backcourt is Carter along with Fairley.
There's the screen.
Inbounds goes to Fairley. Fairley into the forecourt, into the lane, got it to Cam Thomas.
Kick it out.
Thomas in the left corner to Fairley. Back out front to Carter. Carter threw it out near the half-court line, and it simply goes out of bounds.
Yeah, those traps are killing us. Oh, my goodness. You have to make that cut to make yourself available in front of the trap, not that long diagonal.
Garfield Heights trying to make it a 2 or even a 1-point game. 3 ball, way short. In the lane, we've got a foul. Yes, boy, I thought Cam or Belcher may have had all ball right there. So the foul will be on Cam Thomas, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So with 36.9 on the clock, Garfield has trimmed it all the way down to 4. Again, they had it down to 4. Lorain pushed it back out to 10. And now Garfield has made it a 4-point game. Again, although that first free throw missed. When Lorain needing that rebound, and they got it from Belcher, and then Belcher fouled as soon as he grabbed that rebound. So we're going to go all the way to the other end, and Belcher's going to shoot 2.
Big B's been pretty good from the line in this game thus far.
Yeah, I've got Belcher hitting his last 3, and he's 3 of 6 overall. So he missed his first 3, but he's hit his last 3.
34.5 seconds left. Lorain High with 2 timeouts remaining. Garfield with 3. Both teams in the double bonus. Oh, pressure free throw by Big B.
Big free throw there.
Yeah.
So Belcher now with 14. That matches Cam Thomas. Belcher banks it in.
Glass.
Well, that's not how you do it when you draw it up. And now it's 54-48. And a timeout taken by the Bulldogs. So Belcher with 2 big free throws. Timeout taken by Garfield Heights.
Yes. Oh, the Garfield bench looked like, wait a minute here.
Well, they just changed the timeouts from 3 to 2 for Lorain.
Oh, I see that.
So it went from 3 to 2. So maybe just as Garfield Heights did on the previous possession when they had the 2 free throws made, Dax McCall now saying, let's set our defense.
Okay, so you're saying this last time out was by Lorain?
I think Lorain took it. I think Dax took that time out.
I think I was looking on at the scoreboard incorrectly when I read off the timeouts. But it shows both teams with 2 right now, and I think you're absolutely right, Tim. Lorain High took that timeout.
And while Joe Bach doesn't have the huddle cam as of yet, you would think Dax McCall telling those kids, number 1, defend the 3-point arc. Number 2, don't foul.
Right. I totally agree with you there, and I would pick up full court, but not in denial so that they could go over top. I would just try to force them to use as much time as possible to advance the basketball, and let's see if we're going to do that. No, it looks like we're going to go right back to half court. But I would pick them up full court, kind of couple them. I'd let them get it in bounds and then head on the ball defense, force them to waste some time, but here they come.
So here we go, right wing, 3. Nope. Rebound, grab by Belcher. Belcher holding it way above his head. A good fundamental basketball there by Belcher. And
sure was.
He got fouled. Well, he grabbed that rebound. And just like Big Bad John, he stood there, held it up over his head.
Tim, I've been watching, and we've been doing, when we do these, I've been kind of following him for the last 3 years, and he's come a long way. He's lost a lot of weight. I'll bet he's lost at least 30 pounds. He's slimmed down. He loves basketball. He's also a very good football player. Nice stroke.
In and out.
You know, he had a long way to go, and he's getting better and better. And if he continues at this rate of progress, he's going to help the varsity next year. I mean, that was a great, you're right. That was a fundamentally sound rebound, pivot, and put the ball up where nobody else can get it.
And a big free throw. He missed the first, but he hits the second, and it's a 3-possession game. Left of the lane, scoop off the glass, no. Rebound grabbed by Fairley.
All right, it's over now.
And Lorain with the 7-point lead is going to be able to dribble out the clock.
Nice.
55-48. Lorain's going to win the JV game. Well, we got a foul right down below us with 2.7 on the clock. But, Bob, I want to thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been my pleasure. I'm telling you. I'm telling all my friends I did a game, and I've got a picture to prove it with Tim Alcorn, because when I told them in advance, I don't think they believed me.
Folks aren't going to believe that I did a game with Bob Brackish. I'll just tell you that.
There you go.
Joe
yeah, for the wrong reasons. Yes.
First free throw in and out. So, Joe Bach, thanks to you. Again, Bob, thanks to you. Thanks to
pleasure.
Everybody for tuning this one in. It has been a whole lot of fun. Again, freshman game, Lorain won at 41-28. And now in our JV contest, it looks like our final will be 56-48 as that 3-ball is up no good, and that's going to do it. All right. We appreciate everybody at TV 20 for having me in, and we've got more basketball coming. So stay with us on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.